Dear insert YouTube movie critic's name here. On behalf of Paramount Pictures and visionary director Michael Bay, we would like to send this exclusive promotional package to you in honor of the release of Transformers: The Last Knight. Inside is a complimentary Transformers: The Last Knight t-shirt, and we have included DVD copies of the previous 4 entries in the series absolutely free of charge. We hope this will aid in your excitement for reviewing this epic film that is sure to please audiences and critics the world over. P.S. Please be kind. Michael Bay is a competent technician, capable of staging a scene, placing a camera, and presumably directing actors to achieve polished and mainstream accessible popcorn entertainment. That's what he's built his brand on and made his bread and butter with. Most notably through his uber-successful multi-billion-dollar Transformers franchise that has been running since a little over 10 years ago to the very day. But here is where he has gone completely off the rails in my opinion, testing the waters once again. Like a man saying he will leave his toxic relationship, but returning again and again and again to inflict more damage and pain. Transformers: The Last Knight is the ultimate test in patience, viewer retention, stamina, and overall human strength, and I hesitate to say that I failed that test in all 4 of the aforementioned areas. This movie, despite being one of the shortest in the series, is egregiously overlong and not to mention overly ambitious, with none of the craft, wit, or ingenuity that would justify any such ambitions. Mark Wahlberg returns as Cade Yeager, Texan inventor turned Transformer rescuing fugitive who is on the run from the government and is dragged into yet another convoluted, nonsensical plot, this time involving Merlin, the Knights of the Round Table, a mystical artifact from the home planet of Cybertron, and Sir Anthony Hopkins himself just having a goofy old time. Now, if this sounds remotely interesting, I can assure you that this is the case in concept alone. The execution, however, is among the very worst in the series, and the barrage of loud noises, flashing images, and screaming characters is enough to make even the strongest of spectators throw their hands up in utter defeat. These movies always bring to mind the old mantra, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Each time I go into a Transformers movie, they all start fairly strong as far as these kinds of films go. The first begins with the discovery of the Transformers on the military base and subsequent mayhem that ensues. The second opens with a cool action sequence in China, which puts more focus on building up the Autobots and making them more interesting and relatable. The third has all the cool revisionist history stuff about the moon. And the fourth opens with a brutal sequence of the Autobot Ratchet being hunted down by a group of government mercenaries and executed in cold oil. All interesting, exciting, or at the very least watchable sequences that preface films that delve into incoherent messes mere moments later. The Last Knight is no exception. It should be called The Last Straw because not only critics but even general audiences hate this movie, and general audiences like everything. Even the Chinese found this shit offensive, so that's really saying something. This movie feels like it was 3 or 4 different movies crammed into one monstrous script. Plotlines and characters are introduced and abandoned haphazardly, and nothing gels whatsoever. Not to mention the film took 6 editors to come together. It's honestly baffling. The only moderately promising development to come out of this flaming turd is the introduction of Isabella, played by young Isabella Monet, a scrappy orphan child who lives in hiding among the Autobots whom she befriends and cares for. There's a sequence early on in the film where a group of kids discover her secret homestead, and it just made me wish there was one of these movies that actually attempted to view these larger-than-life world-shattering events from a child's perspective. But her character merely tags along with Mark Wahlberg for a few scenes, only to be abandoned as soon as he needs to fly off to jolly old Britain, later coming back out of nowhere in the action climax, which, by the way, is a mind-numbing mess of CGI mercilessly pounding your face in. I don't think I'm being revolutionary here when I say that this movie is deplorable. A soul-sucking 2.5 hours from a man with no restrictions and no limits. I am morbidly curious about the Bumblebee prequel spin-off coming from Kubo director Travis Knight, but as far as another Transformers film proper, with Bay at the helm or not, there is absolutely nothing that can bring me back to this abysmal franchise any longer. Paramount, call it quits here and just trade this series in for parts. Sorry that review is so late, folks, but I've been going through some personal issues lately. My life's kind of falling apart, but I could not let Michael Bay get off the hook that easily. The intro was in jest, but I did receive this shirt, this official free shirt entering the theater. They were giving the first 500 people these shirts, really trying to entice the viewer. This movie is flopping harder than a fish on a dock, okay? That was the most killer analogy ever. I don't like judging movies on trailers in the review, but here, the trailers painted 3 different movies. One, the Knights of the Round Table epic. Second was like this Earth to Echo, Stranger Things style coming of age story with the little girl Isabella. And there was also the Optimus Prime goes evil angle. And all 3 of those were not used well at all, not implemented well at all, and they all could have been their own individual movie. It was just all used to kind of market this movie and market it very poorly. The best scene in the whole movie was when Megatron was trying to get his Decepticons out of jail. Suicide Squad style titles came up to introduce them all. He was bargaining with lawyers in the military. It was the most mind-numbingly stupid scene I've seen in a long time. God, I don't even remember much else from this. I had written this review about 2 weeks ago, and I meant to put it out, but I thought better late than never. I mean, I assume a lot of you, based on box office numbers, have already avoided this thing anyway, but I'm done. I'm done with the Transformers movies, folks. Absolutely finished. And really, Unicron for the next movie? What the fuck's up with that? No. You blew it. Unicron is Earth, you blew it. Those are my thoughts on Transformers The Last Knight. I don't have anything else to say. You can check out my other reviews here, some more of them at your leisure. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel, of course, like the video. My name is Nicholas Janzen. Thanks for watching. I will not be your billboard!